Jungkook effect, or HYBE's game. Why a sold-out virtual membership just set the BTS fandom on fire? Is it really possible for something that doesn't physically exist to disappear in just a few hours? Or is there something else hiding behind that red, sold-out label that suddenly shocked millions of fans around the world? And more importantly, was this about BTS as a group, or was it secretly all about one name that never stops moving the fandom's economy? Jungkook? On January 17, 2026, something happened that no one in the BTS fandom thought they would ever see. The ARMY Global official fan club membership on Weverse, a purely digital product with no physical stock, suddenly showed one shocking word: sold out. No warning, no countdown, no explanation. Just that one word, sitting there like a ticking bomb in the middle of the most anticipated BTS comeback era in years. How can a virtual membership be sold out? Who decides when unlimited suddenly becomes empty? And why did so many fans instantly whisper the same two words? Jungkook effect. The internet didn't sleep that night. On X, formerly Twitter, panic spread faster than any comeback teaser ever had. One post from user @EgoShadow7 exploded with over 12,000 likes and more than 1.1 million views. The caption said it all in pure disbelief. ARMY Global membership is sold out. How can a virtual membership be sold out? I'm screaming. Attached was a screenshot showing the membership priced at $19.67, stamped with the label, global exclusive, and the terrifying red sign, sold out. Within minutes, replies poured in. At your usual road. Pleasey, I am panicking. I was just going to buy it, and I see sold out. Others posted crying emojis, broken heart gifs, and screen recordings of them refreshing the page again and again like their life depended on it. But panic quickly turned into suspicion. Was this a system error? A glitch? Or a strategy? Some fans tried to stay calm. Or is a glitch? There is no other explanation. @EgoShadow7 added later. But not everyone was willing to believe it was just a technical problem, because the timing was too perfect. Too suspicious. Too close to something much bigger. Just days earlier, BTS had officially announced their world tour Arirang for 2026 to 2027, their first massive tour after completing military service. More than 70 shows across continents. 28 dates in 12 cities in the United States alone. The hunger for tickets was already being compared to the Hunger Games of pop music, and to enter the battlefield, fans needed one thing: ARMY membership. Registration for ARMY presale was scheduled to close on January 18, 2026 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or January 19th at 8 a.m. Korea Standard Time. Presale tickets would go live on January 22nd. General sales on January 24th. The clock was ticking. Everyone knew that without membership, your chances of getting a ticket were almost zero. So when that membership suddenly said sold out, it didn't feel random. It felt controlled. On Reddit and X, theories exploded. One fan commented, maybe they're being careful about scalpers and non-ARMY coming in to buy a membership just to have a chance to snag some tickets to resale. Another wrote, HYBE is probably limiting it to protect real fans. But then another voice entered the chaos, louder than all others. Let's be honest. One viral reply said, ARMY solo Jungkook saja sudah kakak buat bikin server Weverse jatuh. And just like that, the narrative shifted, because alongside panic and suspicion, something else was going viral. Confessions. I bought it only for Jungkook. Sorry to the other members. One fan tweeted. Another wrote, if Jungkook wasn't in this group, I wouldn't even care about presale. Screenshots of these comments spread like wildfire, translated into multiple languages, reposted on Instagram fan pages, debated on TikTok lives, and turned into ammunition for an old war inside the fandom. OT7 versus solo stans. Was the ARMY membership really selling because of BTS as a whole? Or because millions of people around the world were chasing one face, one voice, one name? Jungkook. The numbers added fuel to the fire. According to data circulating from Weverse and fan communities, the BTS community on Weverse jumped from about 32.6 million members to 32.7 million in just one day. That might sound small, but in the world of digital platforms, A growth of 100,000 in 24 hours is explosive. One Instagram account that tracks fandom growth wrote, "The growth is unreal. The speed is unmatched." Many longtime ARMY said they had never seen a virtual membership sell out before. Not during Wings era, not during Love Yourself, not even during the peak of Dynamite and Buttered. Why now? The obvious answer was the comeback. The return after military service. The promise of seeing all 7 members together again on stage. But fans knew something else was happening under the surface. Every time Jungkook appears, the internet bends. His solo activities had already shown terrifying power. Streaming records, brand deals, magazine covers, stadium chants that sometimes drowned out the group name itself. When he released solo music, charts moved. When he posted selfies, servers lagged. When he breathed, hashtags trended. When BTS announced a world tour, many fans admitted something they rarely said out loud. They were not chasing BTS. They were chasing Jungkook, and that honesty was both shocking and explosive. Comments like, "Aku belly kuma demi Jungkook," Moth member Lane went viral in Indonesian fan spaces. In English spaces, fans wrote, "I love BTS, but Jungkook is my priority." In Korean forums, debates raged about whether solo stans were hijacking OT7 spaces. Some fans were angry. "This is disrespectful to the other members," one wrote. "If you only care about Jungkook, don't call yourself ARMY." Others defended themselves. "I'm not hurting anyone," a Jungkook solo stan replied. "I'm just honest about who I want to see most." And in the middle of that emotional battlefield sat one mysterious red word: sold out. When the membership became available again on January 18th, many people sighed in relief. HYBE never gave a dramatic explanation. No official statement that satisfied everyone. Some said it was a glitch. Some said it was a temporary limit. Some said it was part of a system update. But the damage was already done. The question was no longer just, why did it sell out? The question became, who really caused it? Was it BTS as 7? Or was it Jungkook as 1? Some fans argued that blaming Jungkook was unfair. "ARMY is massive," one wrote. "You can't reduce everything to one member." They pointed to the fact that the fandom has been growing for over a decade, that the tour announcement alone would naturally cause a surge, but others weren't convinced. They pointed at patterns. Whenever Jungkook is heavily promoted, engagement spikes higher than usual. Whenever he releases something, platforms struggle. Whenever he is rumored to appear somewhere, ticket prices skyrocket. When millions rushed to buy membership for pre-sale, many believed that the silent majority was thinking one thing: I just want to see Jungkook live. That belief created a new kind of tension inside the fandom, not between fans and HYBE, but between fans themselves. That OT7 supporters accused solo stans of being selfish. Solo stans accused OT7 supporters of being unrealistic and fake. Some said HYBE secretly benefits from this division, because whether you come for 7 or for 1, your money still goes to the same place. And that led to the most dangerous question of all: was HYBE playing with this? Some fans believed the sold-out moment was not an accident. They believed it was a psychological move. Create panic. Create fear of missing out. Make people rush, talk, fight, trend. Turn a simple membership into a global headline, because what happened next proved one thing. Everyone was talking. Music websites like musicmundial.com reported the chaos. Fan forums analyzed screenshots like detectives. Instagram fan pages gained thousands of followers just by posting updates about the sold-out moment. The ARMY membership, which had always been just a step before buying tickets, suddenly became the main character of the story. And in every version of that story, one name kept appearing: Jungkook. Some fans said HYBE knew exactly what they were doing. They knew Jungkook's magnetism. They knew how many people would move just because of him. They knew that even the idea that Jungkook stans caused this would create noise, drama, and attention. Others said that giving HYBE that much credit was too much. "Sometimes a glitch is just a glitch," one wrote. "Not everything is a conspiracy." But in fandom culture, perception is often stronger than truth, and the perception now was clear. Jungkook is not just a member of BTS. He is an economic force. When fans say Jungkook effect, they don't just mean popularity. They mean servers crashing, products selling out, brands lining up, and now even virtual memberships disappearing. Whether HYBE planned it or not, they benefited from it. Memberships sold fast. Pre-sale hype reached insane levels. The world tour was already being called the biggest comeback tour in K-pop history before a single ticket was sold. And inside the fandom, something shifted. Some ARMY started asking uncomfortable questions. If millions are really here only for one member, what does that mean for the idea of BTS as 7? Is unity still real, or is it just a slogan? Others pushed back hard. BTS is BTS, one wrote. Jungkook shines because he is part of BTS, not separate from it. But even that statement shows the tension. Because it had to be said, the sold-out moment did not just create panic. It exposed feelings people usually hide. IT showed how many fans are emotionally attached to one person more than to the group. It showed how fragile unity can be when honesty becomes louder than loyalty. And it showed how one red label on a screen can reveal the psychology of millions. What really happened on January 17? Was it a glitch? Maybe. Was it a strategy? Possibly. Was it pure demand? Absolutely. But behind all the technical explanations and corporate silence, one emotional truth remains. People were not afraid of missing BTS. They were afraid of missing Jungkook, and that fear was strong enough to shake servers, start wars, and turn a virtual product into the most talked about object in the fandom. Now the question is no longer about the past. The real question is about what comes next. When ticket sales open, will the chaos be even worse? When concerts begin, will the screams for one name overpower the others? When cameras panned across the stage, who will social media follow the most? Is this still the era of BTS as 7, or are we slowly entering the era where one member's shadow is big enough to cover everything else? And if even a virtual membership can't handle the weight of this obsession, what will happen when millions of people try to chase one man on a real stage, in real time, with real money and real desperation? The servers already warned us. The fandom already showed us. Now all that's left is to watch what breaks next. Is it possible that what happened with this sold-out membership was only the beginning? Because after January 17th, the atmosphere inside the BTS fandom never truly went back to normal. The panic might have faded, but the suspicion stayed. And every new update about the Arirang World Tour only made the tension thicker, heavier, and more emotional. When Weverse quietly reopened the ARMY membership on January 18th, many fans rushed again, afraid of seeing that red label a second time. Screenshots flooded X and Instagram. It's back. Buy it now before it disappears again. Some fans said they stayed awake all night just to make sure they didn't miss it. Others admitted they bought it even though they weren't sure they could afford concert tickets, just because they were scared of being locked out. Fear became the new currency of the fandom, and fear has a name: missing Jungkook. Every time someone posted, "I'm buying for OT7," replies appeared saying, "Same, but especially Jungkook." Every time someone said, "I want to see BTS together again," another replied, "I just want to see Jungkook with my own eyes at least once." These comments didn't disappear. They multiplied. On TikTok, videos titled, "Why I'm Buying ARMY Membership Only for Jungkook" reached hundreds of thousands of views. On Reddit, long threads debated whether solo stans were damaging the group. On Instagram, fan pages started using headlines like "Jungkook effect strikes again" because they knew one thing: that name brings clicks. Even fans who were tired of the debate couldn't escape it. Algorithms kept pushing the same question in different forms. Is Jungkook bigger than BTS right now? For some, the answer was obvious. They pointed at data. His solo songs consistently outperformed expectations. His brand deals sold out in minutes. His face on a magazine cover boosted sales more than industry averages. When he went live, viewer numbers broke records. They said, "This is not opinion. This is numbers." Others refused to accept it. They said numbers don't define loyalty, and charts don't define unity. BTS is 7, they repeated like a shield. But the louder they said it, the more it sounded like something they were afraid of losing, because deep down, Many knew that something had shifted. The sold-out moment didn't create the Jungkook effect. It just exposed it. Long before January 17th, fans had already noticed how conversations changed when his name appeared. A group teaser would get attention, but a Jungkook-focused clip would explode. A group rumor would trend, but a Jungkook rumor would dominate, and HYBE was watching all of it. They never said, "This is Jungkook effect." They never blamed him. They never separated him from the group in official statements. But fans noticed patterns in promotions, thumbnails, camera focus, and timing. Some believed HYBE was carefully balancing things, trying to satisfy both OT7 fans and solo-driven demand. Others believed HYBE was quietly leaning into what works best because business doesn't run on emotion, it runs on results, and Jungkook brings results.